Welcome back. Releasing controversial news on a Friday night to lessen its impact is something of a political tradition in the United States. But the Trump administration did it in a big way last night, just as Hurricane Harvey approached, announcing that a controversial ex-sheriff had been pardoned, a combative aide had departed, and a new directive banning transgender military recruits was signed. Well, our Boris Sanchez has the latest from Washington and joins us now live. Boris, an imminent disaster seemed like a fitting time for the Trump administration to dump this news on the American people.
Absolutely, Linda. This is something that the president's critics have attacked him for, trying to say that the president was using the distraction of Hurricane Harvey to unload some news that would be heavily criticized, as it has been. First, the pardoning of Sheriff Joe Arpaio. He's a very controversial sheriff in Arizona. A judge actually found him to be guilty of contempt of court for continuing a program that a previous judge had found was illegal because it racially profiled Latinos. The judgments against the president were swift, coming from not only Democrats but also Republicans, including the two senators in Arizona who were very critical of the president. He had been kind of dropping hints that he might pardon the 85-year-old sheriff, going back to a tweet last week and then the event that he held in Phoenix on Tuesday, saying that he thought the sheriff would be okay. Last night we got that statement saying that because of his more than 50 years of service to the country, the sheriff was a, quote, worthy candidate for a pardon. The interesting thing about this is that typically when a president wants to issue a pardon, he first goes through the Department of Justice. In this case, the president apparently didn't do that. A source telling CNN that the Department of Justice had nothing to do with his pardoning, saying that it was, quote, this was the president's pardon. Linda.
And Boris, dramatic Fridays seem to be a hallmark for major moves by the Trump administration. Some of the major departures that come to mind: Sean Spicer, Reince Priebus, Steve Bannon, all happening on a Friday.
That's a bit of a tradition for this White House, and it continued yesterday. We saw the departure of Sebastian Gorka. He was a counterterrorism advisor for President Trump, highly controversial for not only his combative and aggressive style in defending the president on television, but also for some very controversial remarks he made in the past about Islam. He was part of that Steve Bannon, Breitbart, economic nationalism wing within the White House. So there was a lot of speculation that when Steve Bannon left, Gorka was likely next. And now there's a bit of a dispute about his departure. One source telling CNN that he resigned. Gorka himself was on the radio earlier today saying that he resigned. Another source saying that he did not resign and that he is no longer at the White House, insinuating that Gorka was forced out, Linda.
Yeah, like most of them by the sounds of it. Boris Sanchez, good to have you with us from Washington. Thank you very much.
Thank you.